How did let's start right there. How did it come up? Who named you the Amazing?
Man by the name of Jimmy Staten, man from El Centro Valley, California. He had came to check me out, came to see if I had the goods or not. And after a few sessions of watching me train, he just kept saying, "Oh, this boy's amazing. This kid's amazing," you know. So it kind of just stuck from there, you know.
Oh, that's cool. How old were you then?
I had to be around, I say maybe 20, 22, 21, somewhere around there.
Good. So at that point, you'd probably been around the game for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get started? Tell us where does McCallan start his boxing career? What gets you started, and how old were you when you first started boxing?
I actually started in 2013. Left college at the time. I was going to CSU Pueblo. Had plans to go and play football there. Was going to walk onto the team, but life, of course, took me into a different direction. I kind of decided, boxing was the thing I wanted to do, and just been running with it ever since. Got to this point so far. So, yeah, I kind of just started then, dropped out of college, and just full speed ahead with this boxing thing.
Wow. So not necessarily were you in the combat sports at a young age. You hear a lot of people with your level of talent that they've been boxing since they've been 8 years old.
Right.
But you get some of these late bloomers that into the sport, but they have that natural ability, natural God-given talent that you just can't teach that.
Right.
So that's cool. And so as far as combat sports or martial arts, boxing, and all that, you were telling me you did a little bit of kickboxing.
I did Taekwondo as a kid. Yeah, that was before I had done any sports. That was the first thing I had done. Like I was telling you off camera, me and my older brother, we're traveling around doing tournaments. Winning tournaments around the country, around the state. So combat sports, I guess, comes natural to me. Like I said, it's just I applied my skill into a different sport. With being boxing. So I have a combat sports background, but now I'm just taking it in a different direction.
Good deal. So being in the, you said you went to college and football was kind of your main drive.
Yeah.
And then how'd you come across boxing?
It was something that I'd always had interest in, and something that I'd always loved. Something just told me, take a chance with it, and like I said, go full speed ahead in that direction, and I feel like I made a good decision.
That's good. So where's the first place you started boxing? Where'd you start? You're originally from Colorado.
Right.
Okay, born and raised. You're native of Denver. So where'd you start boxing?
I started at Delgado's. It was the first gym I went to, 23rd and Delgany. Yeah, that was where I had my first training, first amateur fight out of. All that good stuff. That's kind of where I got my, or how would I put it?
Introduction.
Yeah, my introduction to boxing was there for sure.
Good deal. And then you what was you've had a pretty lengthy amateur career, and you went on to win a couple of state titles. Mm-hmm. And tell us a little bit about those journeys.
My journey through the amateurs, I felt like it was timed perfectly. I did just about everything I could do at the time, and got all the experience I could get out of it before I turned pro. Had about 70 amateur fights. Like I said, won a few state titles, a few regional titles. Went on to compete in the national Golden Gloves as well. Been there a few times, so I've got some good experience in the amateurs. I feel like it did its job, and now I'm ready for the next phase of my career.
Yeah. So how you feel amateurs? You covered all the ground you needed to cover. You got a lot of trainers that rush their to just turn them pro. You got coaches that just want to be in the pro game, and then you got coaches that don't want to have anything to do with the pros.
Right.
So I think 70 bouts is a good number. Mm-hmm. Especially, I don't know if you travel to like ringside tournaments and stuff like that, or
no. Well, the majority of my experience that got me ready for the pros was like my camps with with professional fighters, guys who were established at the time when I was getting ready for like these big amateur tournaments. I just so happened to be able to be in camp with certain guys and be in the ring with seasoned professionals, and I feel like that was when I knew I was ready to turn pro. But yeah, like I said, my amateur fighting career, and then the things that happened outside of the fighting, like the camps and whatnot, was what I felt like really is where I got my own seasoning, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's tell us a little bit about your style. What do you consider yourself a brawler, a boxer, puncher, a boxer?
I say I'm more of a boxer puncher. I have natural power, and of course everyone loves the knockout, but I'm more of a guy who likes to go in there and use my brain and use my skill to set up the power. I don't just, I'm not a power first kind of guy,
Yeah.
Like I say, defense wins championships.
That's right.
Yeah, I like to go in there and be calculated, be smart, and get the job done that way.
That's going to help you down the road, too, when you start getting into those longer round bouts. Mm-hmm. You start getting into those 8-10 round bouts, where you start getting used to knocking everybody out in the first 2 rounds. And you see a lot of people trying to do that later in their careers. And, so that's good. That's good that you're being aware of that, So now where are you training out of now? Do a little shout out to your team now, where you're training out of now. How you made the move to where you're at.
I'm currently training out of A1 Boxing Fitness, located in the Aurora Mall. I got my coach here with me, Rolando Lopez. We've been together just over a year now. I've been with A1 going on almost 4 years, but me and Rolando are a new tandem. But yeah, I'm currently at A1. Good
deal. And so you've been at A1 for about a year now?
Been with A1 since about 2017. Been with Rolando for about a year. Yeah.
Okay. When did you finally say, okay, it's time to make the jump, amateurs to pros? Some guys put themselves in, they say, okay, the amateurs just, are not, they don't give me that spark, or, everybody wants to, you're developing a fan base where, it suits well for the pros. Mm-hmm. So, your style suits well for the pros. You're used to sparring pros. So at what moment did you say amateurs are done?
Well, the moment I realized it was time to turn pro was after the 2017 National Golden Gloves. Around that time, I didn't like the format that the amateur tournaments were being ran, the format that they were being ran under, and things like that. I kind of knew at that point that it was time to turn pro. So right after 2017 Nationals. Yeah.
So you made the national trip. How many times did you go to the Nationals?
3 times.
3 times. That's some good exposure to the Nationals at that level there. Noticeable names that you can remember that you competed against or even sparred with.
Well, notable names that I've been in the ring with. My last amateur fight was against the kid Keontae Irving from Philadelphia. He's currently an undefeated pro. Been in the ring with guys like Tony Harrison, Steve Nelson, who just fought last night, got the win. Congratulations to him. Who else? Lots of guys. I've been in the ring with guys from around the world. I've got international experience as well, sparring with Olympians from countries like Algeria, helping them get ready for the Olympics. I've been in there with all kind of guys, more guys than I can name, really.
That's good, and that's what gets you the level of seasoning that you need for the pros. So you mentioned that you were sparring, you sparred Tony Harrison, and he had a big win. When he beat the Charlo brothers. Yeah. Yep. So were you in his training camp during that time?
Yeah, that was the camp I had done with him. Was his camp for the first Jermell Charlo fight, which of course we know he won his first title win.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my first and only camp I had done with him.
That's cool, man. How did it feel being in a camp like that?
It was an interesting experience for sure. Testing myself against someone who's a proven world-class fighter, and knowing that you can hold your own, and in some cases, be dominant in your own respects. But yeah, I think it was confirmation that I was ready for the next level, and that I know my skills were up there with the world class guys. So I feel like it's just a matter of time before I break out into that world stage myself. So it was a good feeling, good experience as well.
Good, and it's, during those camps, I mean, they're not there to play, man. That's some real stuff there, and it shows you, what gives those guys that edge,
Right.
And so bringing back, those experiences to your training, Rolando's your head coach, or probably your primary coach, alongside with who else do you work with, for your, when you're getting ready for fights?
I've got guys like former world champion Verno Phillips, who I'm in the gym with just about every day. I see him every day. Gives me pointers here and there, and seasoned guys like that, and young as well as young fighters who help, like you said, give you that spark while you're there training. Just good guys all around to have. Just in the gym with me, giving me good advice and tips here and there. Things that keep me on the straight and narrow path.
Yeah. How do you feel your career's been going so far as a pro? You're 4-0 as a pro. And 2 knockouts. So that's a great start. You're 26 years old.
Yeah.
How do you feel? What's your take of where you're at now? How does your body feel? Do you feel a little pressure to step on the gas a little bit and start getting active, or are you going at a good pace?
I definitely would like to be more active. I feel like at this point the only thing that I need is just that fight seasoning, just get in the ring and just get the job done against various guys. I just had my first 6-round fight, so that was good. Made it through with no issues. I'll be campaigning at 168 pounds, so I feel like I just need to get active. If I can get to that 15, 16, maybe 17-0 mark, I think I'll be ready to really step up my level of competition. But I think we're doing things right as far as the matchmaking and things like that. But I would definitely like to be more active. Yeah.
Your last fight, that was a good fight. And that was a good, tough, seasoned vet. I mean, it was JT, right? That was your
LT Nelson.
LT, yeah. And he was rugged as they come.
Yeah, for sure.
And getting those rounds is excellent. Is excellent. And so, as far as what weight was that fight at?
I was at 165 pounds, actually. A little bit lower than what I like to be at. We made the weight with no problem. Got to the 6 rounds with no problem, but this is definitely not the weight that I feel most comfortable at. But I made it happen to get the fight and get the experience. And what a lot of people don't know is that guy actually has. I mean, you look at his boxer profile, it says 5-3, but you count the countless Muay Thai fights, countless MMA fights, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, yeah, he's seasoned.
Yeah, had over at least 30 some odd pro fights in various disciplines. So I think that win will be a little more appreciated.
Well, you're fighting a guy with a winning record as is, and he's seasoned. There's a lot of prospects that are babied, and they're fighting guys that are 0-40. Or 10 and 65.
Yeah, and that's one thing I would never like to pride myself on, is taking those kind of fights.
Exactly.
I like to be realistic with my expectation as far as level of competition early in my career, but at the same time, I still would like to be tested and like to get that, like I said, get that experience to make me greater down the line. So yeah, being babied is definitely not the goal right now.
Correct. And it's like anything else, in this career of boxing, everything's got to be timed just right. Opponents, getting signed by promoters. Where does that put you now, man? Is there promoters that you've been in contact with, or are you signed with somebody, or do you have your eye on something going on?
I'm currently managed by Ryan Roach. I'm a part of his Fighter Locker stable, nephew of Freddie Roach. Big, of course, everyone knows the Roach name in boxing.
That's a big name.
Currently managed by him, so with him in my corner, I feel like we'll get some great things done. No promoters, but I kind of like being a free agent in the promotional sense, but I do like having a manager as well connected, so I feel like I'm at a good point.
So as of right now, when did you sign with him?
About a month ago. Just
Okay.
newly signed. Yeah.
Just newly signed with him. Congratulations, good deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's a well-known name, so he's definitely been around the block. And so with him being now involved, how do you feel you're gonna start taking fights out of the state a little bit more often, or you still want to fight at home a little bit more?
Yeah, we worked out a really good deal to where he'll be my, how can I put it, like first line of defense as far as like offering opportunities and whatnot. But I'm still more than welcome to be able to search out opportunities, whether it be here or anywhere else. We're just, we have like a great working partnership where we're just going to do what's best for my career and, try to get myself to the next level, however that may be. We're just, working together in order to get my career going.
Okay. Yeah. And so as of now, what was the date on your last fight? That was
January 25th.
Okay. Do you have anything coming up that you're getting ready for?
Nothing locked in. I am staying in the gym, but me and Ryan have been talking as well and been trying to work things out. We're trying to get one in before the year's over, at least one more before the year's over.
Yeah. So with all this COVID and all this pandemic going on, it's hard. A lot of shows, a lot of people can't do shows, but you still got some promoters doing shows out there. Is there anybody here local in the state that you're saying, I think that's a good matchup for me. It's going to put me in a good test. Help make you a better fighter or add them to your checkoff list on your record?
Anybody in my weight class, truth be told, I'm more than open to fighting anyone in or around my weight class. I've yet to turn anyone down or have anyone I feel like I couldn't beat that I've come across or seen here on the local scene. So anyone who's willing to sign a contract, basically. So, yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, for right now, we are going to take a quick moment, and we'll be right back with a little bit more about Shawn McCalman and his training, and we'll bring in some of his coaching staff. See you in just a few minutes. Welcome back. I am Raul Tejada, your host of IBTV for Aurelio Martinez, and we are back with Shawn McCalman. And as you can see, we have brought on one of his head training coaches, Rolando Lopez. Lopez, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you with us. We were talking a little bit about his amateur background and some of his boxing, and tells us now that he's been with you for about a year. So tell us a little bit of how, when you first laid eyes on the amazing Shawn McCalman, what were your thoughts?
Well, I always thought he was a good fighter. I always see him at the gym working hard, most of the time by himself, and a lot of time, as a coach, I don't like to step into anyone's toes, you know what I mean? So when he approached me to start working with him,
You lean in just a little bit, just come in camera, there you go.
When he approached me to start working with him, I thought it was an honor for me, honestly, because he's so talented, and I love working with people like that, especially someone who likes to work hard. He actually pushed me to the limit, but I enjoy it because that makes me as a coach step up my game. I get better as a coach, because it's not the same like when you're working with young kids like amateur. You step it up in the pro level. It's a different view, you know what I mean? So it means a lot to me, and we've been having fun. He listens very well. And we communicating very well. Every time there's a approach, for him to make a decision, he always involved me. And I appreciate that. From him. Skill wise, he's a complete fighter. He know how to fight, and he know how to box. And depending on the situation where he's at in the fight, he make the adjustment right away. You know what I mean? So I'm having fun with him.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So, you've been around the game. You've trained a lot of amateurs. What's the difference you now being in this? You've been in the pro game,
Yeah.
and but now having this level of potential and prospect. What are your concerns as far as can we stay busy enough?
Mm-hmm.
Can we get the right fights? Getting the right people behind it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing we're having right now. We want him to stay more busy, but in Colorado, it's hard to get fights, for him because I'm gonna be honest with you. In Colorado, when there is good competition, people don't like to risk it. They like to protect their fighters. I mean, there's nothing wrong to protect their fighters, but come on, let's get them a better fight. You know what I mean? And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the best fights for him to be more known quickly. You know what I mean? Because that's his goal. His goal is to become a world champion. And they got all the talents to do it. But like I said, we can't just stay in Colorado. We've got to step outside Colorado for us to be successful.
That's right, and and like you're saying, sometimes fighters don't want to fight here in the state because they don't want to risk it. But it's like the old saying goes, you have to be able to dominate your area, your region, or else you're not gonna be able to dominate the nation or the world. And being said that, how do you feel? If nobody wants to fight you here in the state, how do you feel about going to Vegas and taking some of these fights? Of course, it's a good thing that you talk to your coaches and you let everybody in on your decisions. And but there's got to be some thought process now where you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to hit the road some of these days. One of these days.
Oh yeah, I'm more than prepared to go ahead and hit the road. Like I said, with the signing of this new management deal, it opens up a world of opportunity. You could say. My manager lives in Boston, so it gives me access to all those promoters, either the smaller time promoters, the big time promoters he's connected to. But I really feel like this new management deal is the move we've been needing to make, and what comes with that means fighting on the road. But like I said, I'm prepared to take my show on the road. We're prepared to take the show on the road. So yeah, fighting outside of here was a reality we knew we were gonna have to accept anyway, and welcomed it with no problem.
And with being able to, Colorado gives you so many good facilities to train. You have the Olympic Center. You have a lot of good top name fighters that come into the state to compete. Being at A1 Boxing, everybody knows A1 Boxing.
Yeah.
So as far as a coach, are you finding a hard time finding him sparring? Or is he getting the work that he needs?
Yeah, actually, it's hard, but we was actually discussing that last week that we're gonna have to go outside A1 Boxing for the sparring because I'm always busy. He knows I'm always busy. I'm at the gym from 6 a.m. to like 9:30 p.m. every single day. It's my full-time job, But if I have to cancel some training for us to go somewhere else to get some good sparring, that would be great for us. So that's exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah. So how do you work your schedules out for you got a full-time job where you're training all you've got classes that you hold. Tell us a little bit about the scheduling and how you guys find the right time to get.
All we gotta do is, you know, like when I'm in the gym every day, I will have to cancel some of my private training that I have with other people because I also do conditioning training, you know. And like I told Sean, you know, if we have to go a Saturday, you know, to Colorado Spring or anywhere else, you know, let's go. You know, I'm happy to do that, you know, to cancel some of my training for because we've been working hard every single day, you know, and we always prepared for but the thing is when we take a fight, you know, I'm glad we agree on this. It have to be like at least 2 months or 1 month and a half notice. You know what I mean? That because we gotta be prepared. I want him to be totally focused on the fight.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. And you notice, like, you know, we've been around the game for a long time, and I don't like to take fights less than 6 weeks.
Exactly.
Gives you a good amount of time to get your fighter ready, get him, you know, get him where he needs to be, because it's quite the journey to get him there.
Yeah.
So in those 6 weeks, we want to get a little dirt on Shawn McCalman here. What is the hardest thing to deal with? Does he cry about leaving the Twinkies at home?
No. He actually pushed me. He's like, let's do 3 more rounds, coach. And I'm like, for real? You're not tired?
So he's the one that does the crying, huh?
Yeah, what we come in the gym with an agenda and to work. Like I said, we work hard every single day. I'm very dedicated to my craft. We both understand that the only way we're going to get there is to be disciplined and to work hard, but to also work smart. You know, work on the things that we need to work on in the gym every day, and work on the things that are going to actually make us better. So me and him, like I said, we make a great team. He's very dedicated to the craft as well, and that's one thing I noticed about him very early on, and that made me stick with him, is his dedication to his fighters and the sport as well. So we come in the gym and we kind of bounce energy off of each other. You know, if one is a little bit lackadaisical in the gym, the other will. You know, I have my days where I come in just a little bit under the weather and he'll bring me up, and some days I come in, he's a little under the weather and I bring him up. So we just, you know, I feel like we make a great team. So no weaknesses between the two of us at all. You know, more of we just have, you know, we're human. We just have our days where one is a little bit lower energy than the other, but the other makes, you know, we know it's our job while we're there to work hard. So the other one will push one another to be great, basically. Yeah.
So Shawn, a little bit about your family life. Tell us, how do you balance, you know, at this level of competition that, you know, that you're embarking on, your weight division, you know, you gotta, it's a career, it's something that you gotta really focus on, and it's not something, there is no off season. How do you balance this with your personal life? You know, what do your parents tell you? You know, your family, what's your circumstances at home? Do you have kids?
I'm expecting, actually, in a few weeks. My wife and I are expecting our first together.
Awesome! Congratulations! Congratulations!
Thank you. Well, the balance, it's like walking a tightrope, but I've made it work. You know, I've been doing this for going on 8 years now. So the schedule has kind of just naturally worked itself out. You know, my wife understands that this is the thing that I've dedicated myself to, and that I'm going to take care of our family with. So she gives me my time to dedicate myself to the sport when I'm there, you know, and when I'm gone. The time I dedicate to her is the time that I dedicate to her and our family and all those things. So, you know, we have an understanding, because she sees where it's going and my family sees where this is going. So they all they do their best to give me my space and let me kind of cultivate this thing I'm trying to bring about. So my family is very supportive, and I'm very thankful of them for that.
That is crucial. I've seen so many prospects that, you know, didn't have that support, and without that backbone and that support, you're always tugging and you're always fighting against, you know, balancing gym time and family time. But when you have that support, it's a beautiful thing, man. And that only adds, when you have that beautiful support outside of the gym with your family, and then you come to the gym and you have a good relationship with your coach, you know, that just adds to you know, the harmony of the fighter and boxer.
Yeah.
You know, so now that, you know, he's 4-0, he just recently got signed. You know, what's the next step for him? You know, what are you guys planning on? You know, do you guys have something in the pipeline that you want to do something locally?
Yeah, actually, when right after he signed the contract with Ryan Roach, I pulled Shawn to the side and I told him, hey, look, pretty soon we're gonna have to step up the competition. We're not gonna do 4-6 rounds anymore. So we got to be more intelligent with our program. You know, that's including footwork, defense drill, conditioning training, which I'm real good at that too. So, you know, technique-wise, he's already great, man. You know, we just got to get those 8-10 rounds, you know, for him to escalate.
Mhm.
So I think we're happy with where we at. You know.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I really feel that way. It's just a matter of time. We got everything we need set up. We got the business side of our career set with Ryan. We got the fighting side already set up. Like I said, I feel like a complete fighter already. It's just a matter of time before we get the chance to show the rest of the world that. That's all that's left to do is just go out into the world and break out into the world and show them what we've been working
Start
on.
showcasing the skills.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yep. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I mean, I've seen your fights, and you very patient. You know, you land big shots, and you don't go haywire just trying to finish them off. You know, you start picking your shots. It's very smart. You know, you still got room to fight. Several more 6-rounders. You know, you know, as far as the fans, everybody wants to see knockouts right away. But you know, taking these deeper fights into deeper waters is only going to benefit you to get those get that seasoning,
Right.
you know. And so, you know, when you spar, you know, are you ready for it? Do you know what you know what it feels like to do a 6-rounder now and go to the limit? How did it feel? Was it a little bit more than you expected, or was it easier than you expected?
Honestly, it was easier than I expected. It was still tough, of course. The being in a fight, any fight, whether you win or lose, is tough. But the rounds themselves wasn't more than I can handle. Like I said, being a little bit under the weight that I'm used to campaigning at had a small effect. But other than that, 6-round distance, I mean, I've done that a million times in sparring, so I know I can do it. And, you know, I can translate that to a fight. I've been 8 rounds in sparring. I'm sure I can translate that to a fight. Been 10, 12, 15 rounds in sparring. So the 6 rounds, it's more of a mental thing when it comes to the fight aspect of it. It's more mental than it is physical, because we have 6 weeks of dedicated training. You know, you just have to be mentally prepared for it more so than physically. Yeah, I believe.
I see that. Yep. And so, as far as you know, his strengths that you see that you you know, he's got power.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times, too many coaches focus on, you know, let's make that our number one priority to go in there and dominate everybody and knock everybody out.
Not this coach.
What's your approach to training with him?
Not this coach. We work on everything. We work on footwork. We get in the ring, have him move around. You know, use his angle, which is good at it. His reach. You know what I mean? And like I said, the power is already there, and if the knockout come, let it come. But he's good to set up his shots, you know. And if you get a fighter that's gonna put like LT, you know, that was a good fight. You gotta remember that fight was a 165, you know. So he was kind of drained, but we already agreed to not fight at that weight anymore. And the reason why we did is because no one want to fight. You know, so we got to take what it comes. But what's the lowest you had been before this 165?
That was the lowest. I fought at 178 in the amateurs. I had even fought as high as 201 in the amateurs. I had been to the nationals. My first time was at cruiserweight, I guess you could say, 201 being the limit. So I fought at much higher weights. 165, I hadn't been that weight since I was about 17 years old. That was the last time when I was playing high school football. I was a junior in high school the last time. I was 165.
You know what though? We lost that weight very comfortable, but not too comfortable. And you cannot risk it. In this game, you cannot risk it.
But the good thing is that now you knew, because you'd been making 168. 168, and you always had, can we push it a couple more pounds? Which, you know, can we go a little bit more south? You know, and a lot of people are like, can you make it down to the next weight division? Well, now you know Now you know, and you didn't kill yourself trying to make the next weight division below you, 154. Not 165. You know what that feels like. Now you're comfortable at 168, and so at 168, going to that 165 limit. Was there ever any concern where it's like, are we just crossing the line, or
No,
it was
not
comfortable
really.
enough?
No, not really. We was comfortable. We just had a tough mouth, a tough guy in front of us. Excuse me. But we just had a tough. He was tough.
Oh yeah, he was.
He
Oh,
took
yeah.
his best shot, and I
That
was
guy
like,
will give a lot of guys hell.
Yeah.
He'll give a lot of fighters.
Oh, he's gonna shock a lot of people.
yeah.
He'll shock a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
He took some of your best shots and got right back up.
Yeah, that was good for us because we never sleep on this guy. And when he came to the corner and he dropped him the first time, I was like, okay, now I want you to finish him. And he looked at me like, okay, coach. He went back. Hell no, he's still on his foot, fighting back.
That's the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah, it was a great experience, great learning experience. I'm glad. I'm very appreciative of that fight at the point happening at the point that it did, for sure.
Yeah.
Being my fourth fight, like I said, I know what I'm ready for, and like I said, a lot of guys at their stages. At this stage of their career, wouldn't take those kind of fights.
Yeah,
and for me to do it and be successful means a lot to me. So, yeah, it was a great fight, great performance, and in my mind, all things considered, great fight. Like I said,
Well, you showcased everything. All your skills, good boxing ability, good movement, balance, your reach, power, everything was there, and you also got the rounds in. I think, in my opinion, as a coach, I think that's so invaluable. And of course, you saw, okay, you dropped the guy, and then the guy's still coming. Man, we need to get this guy out of here, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, that's the best thing that could have happened to you, because now it's like, okay, I'll give this guy everything, and he's still there. It's a testament to what that guy brought into the ring.
Yeah.
And brings your level up.
Right.
But that's where actually you really test yourself.
Exactly.
As a fighter. When someone push you like that, that's where I remember, like in 1984 when I went to fight in my country, in Managua. I had a bloody fight. It was only 3 rounds, but it was bloody. You know what I mean? So, but you enjoy moments like that as a boxer. You know what I mean? He already know you could go through those tests, and that's just gonna give you more experience and in your head too, you already know, okay, I could deal with situation like this. You know what I mean? So it's good. I was happy with the outcome. I thought we did really good.
Yeah. Well, I think he's got the potential to really be something. You're a true prospect. And you hear it. The buzz is there. Now we just, we just got to see it more and more and more out there. What do you think because he's going to break out into the scene. And what do you think, once he starts getting to those big fights and starts winning some of those big fights, can he handle that level of stardom?
He's already there.
Okay. Because that brings down so many fighters.
He's been in camp with a lot of world champions, like the kid that beat the Charles brother.
Yep.
And then a few other guys that are already in that level, and he deal with them with no problem. So I think we're ready to go, and we just got to get more fights.
Good. More fights and more sparring.
Yeah, more sparring. And we already agreed on from now on doing 10-round sparring, or 8 rounds at least.
When you're doing your sparring, how do you like your sparring? Do you like it more realistic, where it's like, okay, you're going hard every single round, or do you mix it up and do more of a, kick back, just work on some stuff, or do you extend your rounds? So many people have different opinions of what works.
Well, without giving away too much of the formula, we like to, we come into sparring with the plan. We'll converse before our sparring sessions, go over what we feel like we need to work on, depending on who the sparring partner is or whatever today's agenda is, and then we just go in there and execute. That could be anything. Whether it be push the pace or slow it down or work on things. Be technical, whatever. Whatever is necessary. Basically, same way that we fight. We take it into sparring, into training. We, work smart, work efficient, do whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds good.
One thing I like about, I like to set up my sparring like that. I always tell my fighters, look, if you feel like this guy is not, good enough for you, just work on different stuff,
Yeah.
And that's, and then if the competition is harder, well, if you step it up, well, you step it up.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point of view on it.
Because, like I said, he's already a fighter. Shawn is already a fighter. When I start working with him, I want us to focus more on boxing.
Yeah.
On boxing, I don't want you to get hit. I don't care if you could take a punch, but in the long one, that's gonna hurt you.
Yep, that's right.
So,
Well, Shawn, if there's anything that you'd like to send out, any shout outs, and we'd like to, close our segment out and acknowledge to all those people, because we are where we are in this game because of the shoulders that carry us.
Right.
And so there's been a lot of people that have contributed to your success, and this is your moment to give some shout outs to whoever, and I'm sure there's a list of people that probably you can't think of at the moment, but this is an opportunity to send some shout outs.
First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for having us here today, me and my coach. Appreciate the opportunity to be on this platform and, help boost our brand. And this is what it's about, coming on these kinds of shows and making these kinds of appearances to make sure that people can attach a face to the name and, get to know me outside of who I am in the ring, So I would like to thank you guys for having me here. I'd like to thank my coach, my family, anyone who's a supporter, anyone who's given me a view around this sparring, whatever. Any way you've contributed, I appreciate you. And if you guys could do me a favor and follow me on Instagram at theamazing.sm. That is Instagram at theamazing.sm. The Amazing Shawn McCalman on Facebook. Just keep an eye on me, follow us, follow our journey. We're on our way to doing big things, so keep your eyes peeled on us.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Rolando, any shout outs you want to do in closing?
Not really, I just thank you guys for having me.
Definitely, I appreciate you guys for being and joining us. I remember in your last fight, one of your interviews, I like the way you closed and said, all my supporters that came out, I appreciate you being here, and the haters, I appreciate you just as well.
Just as much.
Because, it takes both sides of the ticket aisle. But like you said, it's wonderful that you guys came out here, and this is our platform where we're trying to get you recognition and get you a little bit more out there in the people's eyes. And so thank you to everybody that joined us and watched this, and follow Shawn McCalman. He's a future prospect, one of our very own from here from Colorado. And Rolando, I've known Rolando for a long time. Great coach. Great stuff coming out of A1 Boxing.
Yeah.
And so
He's going to the top, baby.
there you go. That's right. And like I said, keep tabs with us, and we'll be announcing dates and fights as they're coming up. When he comes out for his next fight date, we'll make sure we let everybody else know. So once again, thank you very much from IBTV Studios, directly to you from us. We'll catch us on the next show. Thank you.